So as we move into the business end of the season, Tommy's got his organization set, he's got his drug, and he's built his team around him, and now he's got a system that works. So now we're going to see Tommy aiming to take over Chicago, but at what cost, and really let JP in on his business. Now I'm sure Diamond will have other ideas, because Dhalia will definitely be making some noise, and there's also going to be the issues of Jannard, because he's going to be asking Dmac to grab Tommy for him, but he really doesn't know who he's fucking with, but I think he's about to find out real soon. But elsewhere with the CBI, we have to remember there was a new player that was introduced, and that was Adrian, who's a journalist, and Diamond really needs to watch his back and keep his head on a swivel. But going forward, Blaxton is going to be back, and he's going to be introducing them to a new crew, and some of you will be familiar with him from The Shy. But I'm going to break down some quotes and his backstory about his character later on when we get to the CBI. So we're going to run through everything as usual, from the exclusive clips, from the Flynn family to Tommy and Lilliana, and all the new exclusive images that were released earlier on in the week. But let's start with the synopsis, as usual, for Outrunning a Ghost, which is definitely an interesting title. But the synopsis reads, Tommy's new product is spreading like wildfire across Chicago. But the current success isn't good enough for Tommy. He wants to own the entire city, and is determined to figure out how to do so, no matter what the cost is. So already we've seen Tommy start to move Dhalia, and this is why Claude chose to work with Tommy, because he knows the game, and he knows how it works, and how to set up a business from scratch, while staying under the radar. And so far, we've seen him taking in Chicago, and learning everything from the routes, the people, who currently runs which area, and learning about the two crews, who are the Flynns and the CBI. And now he's making the right moves, after he decided who he wanted to work with, and we've seen him being 5 moves ahead. But the problem is, nothing is ever as simple as building an organization, and watching the money roll in. There will always be problems in the power world. There can be issues with competition, gang wars, connects, betrayal, and snitches, law enforcement, and also the struggle for power within your own organization, because Claudia is someone who wants to make a name for herself, and you can expect at least one of these factors to come into play to complicate things. But as the synopsis tells us that Tommy wants to expand, we know he's got a lot of drops already, with the buyers that he found in episode 2 doing the drops for Rojas. But could JP's club be one way which he expands? Because we've seen Tommy use this system before in Power when Dre was in charge of Truth and the clubs, where they were using a sophisticated method with the matchboxes, and JP is someone who sold more than just weed back in the day. But to what extent, and how deep was he in the game? Because Tommy pushed back and cut him off before he could get any deeper into his story. So hopefully this is something we start to learn more of when it comes to JP. And let's see if Tommy accepts his offer, because the demand for Dhalia is about to go out the roof, and if Tommy wants to keep up with the demand, he may have to start exploring JP's option. But at what cost? In this game, bodies will continue to drop along the way, as we've seen with Rojas' men, some of the Serbs, Elijah, Simon, Mai, and Reggie, and there definitely will be more, because this is the cost of doing business, and this is who they are. So let's see how Tommy expands his business, and whether he continues to making the right calls, because Lilliana is going to tell him, if he keeps pushing too hard, they're not going to win in this game. But from this exclusive clip, it does tell us that Tommy wants to prove himself, and show that he's always had what it takes to do this on his own. And no doubt, he's having to prove himself at every single turn. Now, he also told us that this is the game, and it's all he knows, and this is all he's ever wanted. But others like Ghost started to change their vision and wanted other things, but his vision has always been the same, and it goes back to how I always say, Tommy gives credit to what gave credit to him, and that's the streets. He lives by the street and dies by the street, similar to the way Kanan is, and similar to the way Lilliana is. But Lilliana will warn him, if he keeps pushing too hard, then he's not going to win this one. And she's the voice of reason that he needs in his life, because every great leader needs someone to challenge their decision making, and Lilliana is going to be that person for Tommy. And it really is good to see that Tommy has someone that he can trust, and someone that he can talk to, because he really doesn't have anybody else in Chicago. So I really do hope they keep this sibling type of relationship and not get involved romantically, but that's my preference anyway. I'm sure others may want them to get together. But just sticking with Lilliana, it's going to be interesting to see how this partnership works, and if we see her getting on with Claude. Because if we've learned one thing about both of them, they're both strong and dominant women. But let's talk about what role Tommy could have them playing, because we're going to see Lilliana with a dog who's cooking Dhalia, and we know that Lilliana knows how to cook, and she also knows a way around the drug. So this is the role that Tommy may have her playing, and I really wouldn't be surprised if Lilliana did pick up how to cook Dhalia, eventually taking out the cook, if they have to. But we're also going to see her switching it up from the streets to business, similar to how we've seen Claude go from the boardroom to street. And we're going to see Claude probably hustling and selling this drug to business professionals and the elite, which could be one way of expanding. and Claudia's role in Tommy's organization, because we know she's good with numbers, doing the books for the Flynn family organization, but this is something else she would be good at. But let's talk about Tommy and Dmac next before we move on to the Flynns and the CBI, because Dmac is going to be tasked to grab Tommy by Jannard, and we're going to probably see them having this talk rather than them getting into some beef in my opinion. But what's said in this exchange between Dmac and Tommy, let's wait and see, because they've been building and building for this secret to be revealed for some time, and it is only a matter of time. If it's not in episode 7, then I do expect it to come out in episode 8, because we still need to see the part play out from Dmac's character description, where it says he's gonna look up to Tommy as more of a mentor. But let's talk about the Flynns next, and this exclusive clip, where Claudia tells Walter Flynn that if she wants to keep protecting her, then give her a gun. But Walter Flynn doesn't believe that Claude has what it takes to pull the trigger. But when push comes to shove, exactly like Claudia will tell Walter Flynn, who knows what she's capable of, and we as the audience know what she's capable of, because she dropped 2 bodies already, with Mai and Reggie, where she did pull the trigger. And Walter Flynn really is underestimating her daughter when it comes to the streets. And I do feel Walter Flynn will only find out what she's really capable of when he's got no choice but to give her a gun, because he definitely would have created an enemy with Merkovich and the Serbs, and it is only a matter of time before they make some noise again. And as Claudia's character description tells us, she's someone who really could end up saving the family. And Walter Flynn is someone who's been so caught up in Vic and Gloria and trying to make sure Vic's on the right path to take over the family business. He doesn't realize that Claude is not just good with numbers and in the boardroom, but she really is savage when it comes to using a gun. And I do think it is going to take a situation like the Serbs for him to realize that she's not the one that needs protecting. But let's move on and talk about the CBI and Diamond questioning Tommy, because where the synopsis tells us Tommy's going to be looking to expand, because this drug is going to cause some noise, and he may even catch the attention of Jannard. So we're going to see Diamond questioning Tommy about Dhalia, and I'm sure he's not stupid. He knows that Tommy's making moves, but it is what it is, and this is the game. And they're the ones who voted Tommy out of their deal, with Tommy actually having no say. But Diamond and Tommy have this mutual respect between them, so let's see what happens with this exchange. But we also need to watch Adrian, who was introduced last week, who's a journalist, because she's after a story, which Diamond will give her eventually, and he needs to watch his back. But we're also going to be introduced to Blaxton. Now his backstory is, he comes from New Orleans, because he's been hiding because he got into trouble a few years back, and he also teased that he's in there for the last 4 episodes, and shit really will get intense. And him and Chris Lofton, who plays Jannard, are best friends off screen, so I do think they've got history and are friends on screen as well, and we'll see this chemistry between them. And I'm sure Jannard will be happy that Blaxton is back on the scene, because he's just lost one of his most loyal soldiers in Elijah. So Blaxton coming back is going to be a much needed help for him, especially when Dmac starts to roll with Tommy when he finds out he's his uncle. So that's a breakdown of the new images, the exclusive clips, and some plots and storylines, and what we need to look out for. So drop all your thoughts down below in the comment section, as well as your predictions for episode 7 of Power Book 4 Force. And of course, if you're new to the channel and you haven't done so already, then remember to smash the subscribe button if you want to see everything Power Book 4 Force and Power Universe related. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.